Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps, it is I, your host with the most Renaissance man who always thinks he can and champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back in the yard of streams for another edition of Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show, where we take no nights off. You can't have the Raw Rewind without the best of the West you can't forget about. Sarah Marshall, what's poppin', girl?
Hey, yo.
That is me. Hello.
Hello.
I am here on my phone.
Yeah, we're here. StreamYard, the yard of streams over here, just it's crazy nonsense going on for whatever reason.
It hates me.
For some reason, it's just like you're not vibing with the yard. I don't know what it is.
I know. So I had to resort to my phone. Yeah.
It's only one person to blame for it. Santos Escobar.
Rey Mysterio.
Sorry, James Storm.
Dirty Dom.
Oh, it's obviously Dirty Dom. And JD.
It was the devil in AEW. That jerk.
That asshole. He's just causing a muck. He's yeah, it's just been craziness. Yard of Streams acting up for the best of the West.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes people forget to hit buttons. Things happen. All right.
Yep.
But the show goes on. And one show that did go on last night was an incredible Raw, which, Sarah, it still went on for your boy because powerless for the entire day. I had to figure out a way to watch it. So I'm sitting at the bar with my parents, and I'm just sulking. Like, no joke, just sulking. I was not happy. And they could tell, they're like, why don't you go to B's? When my brother's house is like up the street. And I was like, I didn't think of that. I didn't want to be like, hey, can I watch Raw? Like, I wasn't my first instinct. So then they was like, yeah, no problem. Gave me the entire basement.
He had power, but you didn't?
Yeah. Weird. We're connected through different power lines. I don't know how. I parts of Quincy, I don't know. So he had power, gave me the entire basement to watch Raw, and I was thoroughly impressed. I did fall asleep, and then obviously work got involved, but oh my god, I have a lot to say, and I know you do too, because we were talking pre-show.
Yep.
I think it was a candidate for Raw of the Year.
Yeah, it was really good. I'm excited to talk about it, even though I don't remember what what order, but
yeah, I didn't realize. I was like just doing the old DJ turntables here, waiting for the banner to hit, and I'm like, oh wait, champ's on duty today. So
yeah,
all right. And David, I'd lose it. I would be rip shit.
That's Kingdom of Razor.
Kingdom of Razor, that would be awful. I would be so pissed off. That would. All right, so Sarah, moving on. First,
okay.
Judgment Day just can't get rid of R-Truth.
Yeah, so this was okay. So we had issues with Judgment Day continuously opening up Raw. Like we had talked about it before. We were like, okay, may have something different, but I am so here for what they're doing right now. Like I cannot complain. So they come out and do the same thing that we have complained about before, which is just coming out and being like, we run Raw, we're the best faction, we're great, we're gonna win our match. And it's like, okay, yeah, I love it. But then R-Truth interrupts, of course, because he's like, hey, why didn't you guys tell me that this was happening? Why didn't you invite me out here? And he says that he knew last week's beatdown was just an initiation. And I just want to be like,
Sarah,
back to me.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, who said that?
Me!
Oh, my lord, it's like...
Did I say? I don't remember if I said it to you or if I said it on the stream, but I definitely.
No, you said it on the stream. That would have been something you. I think. Yeah. They can just look in the archives. Go in the archives and check it out. All right, go check out Sarah being right.
because I'm like, I knew he was gonna do that. It was like the easiest way to keep him involved, you know?
Mhm.
And he said, but I'm not going to complain. But I do have to let you know that it feels like you crossed a line because you guys didn't only hurt me physically, but you hurt me emotionally. And I
I
was like,
felt so bad. I
truth,
felt so
truth. But the best part about this entire thing is him breaking Damien. Like, I
that was
I
incredible.
I started cracking up because it's the most recent example of that was Sami Zayn and the Bloodline. So this is like that moment, but different people. So the
Way different.
second
Yeah, different
in
end.
the second that he said, "Hey GP, like I know that you said that you didn't like me, but I knew that deep down that wasn't the truth. I saw it in your eyes."
Yeah, when he said
Damien,
the way he said eyes, like your eyes, and like
yeah.
I even cracked a little bit. That was so flick.
And it's like,
Damn it.
unfortunately for Damien, the camera was like right there. So like he was trying to turn so that no one could see him smiling, but
Oh, it
it is what
caught.
it is.
Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah.
SNL breaks. All right.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
So R-Truth was saying that he wanted a match because Rhea was going to have a match against Ivy Nile and at day one, and the tag titles were on the line, and then he just kind of casually ignores Dominic, I guess. So he challenges JD to a Miracle on 34th Street match, which then JD is like, that was already scheduled. Like,
Yeah.
you're not challenging
I
me.
I love how we're just going like fourth wall in like the reverse side of it where we know like they're saying that it's advertised, like
Yeah.
Archer's coming out and be like, well, I'm gonna challenge you to a match and playing that old school role. And then Jay's like, dude, yeah, Twitter. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You
Well, because
get a
then
bit of
he was
home.
like gaslighting me because I was like, wait, I thought they advertised this already. And so then I was like, wait, maybe I'm wrong. I was like, was JD supposed to be against somebody else? Like, I was so confused. And then so when JD said that, I was like, oh, okay, I'm not wrong. Like, I
No,
thought
it
I was
was
wrong.
like so well like that's what makes our truth so special is because he is playing Captain Oblivious.
Hmm.
And that's his best asset and best role right now with this current roster. You don't like our truth does just needs to be an enhancer and a
Yeah.
show breaker. I mean, I've said it, okay? If our truth does not host WrestleMania this year, that is an all-time bag fumble.
Yeah.
How electric would our truth hosting the 40th WrestleMania be?
I know.
There's so much you can do.
Better than the Miz.
Yeah,
In my
I mean, it would be yeah, way better. But yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yes,
And
yes.
then, of course, he makes it even better by asking Siri where 34th Street is
Yo,
because,
that was just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
um, sorry, an ornament fell off my tree, so
Oh,
I'm very confused. It's fine,
oh,
it's on carpet, so it's whatever.
good.
And then R-Truth brings it up and says, how about we have this match and add a stipulation? Whoever loses has to leave Judgment Day. And JD is like all up in arms because he's like, you're not even in Judgment Day, dog. And he's trying to convince the others that it's not a good idea, but Damien was down with it. And I was like, this is so rude, Damien. This is so mean to do because I knew that Truth was going to win. So
Oh yeah.
JD wasn't about it, but that ended up being what it was.
Did you see
And
Rhea
then
come in and be like priest?
I know she was like slowing him down. So then we see the match, which is another banner, by the way. R-Truth versus JB McDonough. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about this match other than everything was used. We saw a table, we saw cookies, we saw a fire extinguisher, we saw a ball shot via
Dude,
R-Truth's head on JD. Poor JD. Poor
poor,
JD.
poor Jay.
And Truth ends up winning on accident. But we know, they end up having a conversation later, which we'll get into later. But so that means that JD was gonna have to leave Judgment Day, and R-Truth was still in the Judgment Day. And I feel like this was the best way to go about it. Like, even though I like JD, so I don't want to see him out of Judgment Day. I feel like this has to continue. Like, this stuff is too good and too funny to, be ending on a silly match like this. Like, Truth has to stay involved with the Judgment Day for as long as they can, without getting like, okay, we're past the humor factor here.
Hey Sarah, where did Truth's head fall?
On the balls.
On JD's nuts.
Yeah.
Got him. No. All right. Well. All right. Now my
On
serious take.
these nuts.
There it is. All right. Now my serious take. You need this this was a perfect match to have for this where this feud is going, because yeah, like let's be real. You can have Truth linger with Judgment Day all the way up to the Rumble, because at
Mm-hmm.
this point you just need people to be on TV, and the Rumble's just open season, and like anything can connect. I mean, a stupid feud could end in the Rumble with them too. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
perfect way to keep that going. And it's the holidays. At this point, we're gonna have a holiday themed hardcore match, and pun intended, but it is a cookie cutter method
Yeah.
where you have holiday themed item,
Mm-hmm.
kendo stick wrapped in colors of
Mm-hmm.
said holiday, obviously a table, because
Uh-huh.
you have to have a table,
Yeah.
and then depending on the superstars or whatever, another weird weapon like Truth's head, because there
Yeah.
really wasn't else like connected to their feud.
Mm-hmm.
But you have that type of match, and for the way this feud is going, or storyline, however you want to look at it, it just makes you that much more interested, rather than being like, okay, what's next with our Truth? You're like,
Yeah.
is he actually in Judgment Day? Are they going to like? And it's so stupid that they got you this invested over a Miracle on 34th Street match.
I know, but that was nice too, especially because they're not doing a real Raw next week. So I feel like the fact that they kind of like over delivered on a random Raw in December, and it was led off by a holiday themed match, like it is going to make that transition next week of having to deal with no real episode a little bit easier.
Yeah. Christmas trees should not be thrown around.
I
I
know.
disagree.
Did you see that Cody like gave one out when the show went off the air? He literally like let somebody take home a Christmas tree.
Because that's the type of guy Cody Rhodes is. All
Yeah.
right. That's why he's the best. Fun fact, my brother had an entire tree, not just a Christmas tree, but like from the forest, stuffed in his car as a high school prank.
Alrighty.
Yeah, well, we're
That's
talking about trees, so
yeah, that's crazy.
I'm trying to see if there's anything else relevant.
Yeah, because I can't see them. So
Yeah, you can't. I gotta pull trips duty. Anything else to say about the miracle match?
nope.
All right, let's ride. Moving on to my girl. I'm repping her today.
Yep,
Hashtag wrestling shirt
Becky.
season, because Christmas. Yeah, I may or may not have, Sarah, taken advantage of one deal that was advertised multiple times throughout the
Oh,
show last night.
what did you get?
Um, we do have a Yeet sweatshirt coming.
The original Yeet one or the blurry one?
No, the original white Yeet sweatshirt. I kind of want to get the blurry because that'd be hilarious. And then I got to rep my guy. I pre-ordered a CM Punk shirt.
Okay.
You can't. Oh, conversation. They are not. They are not. They're sold out. I mean, until
Okay.
January 3rd. So you can't.
Mm.
It's not even remotely close for you to get it until after the new year.
They probably also wanted to be able to like put out there how quickly his shirt sold, or like,
Oh yeah.
oh, 30,000 shirts sold or pre-ordered. You know what I mean? Like they probably want
Mm-hmm.
that stat or something to prove like the impact that he has or whatever. I don't know.
And I got. I'm. We're raising my nephew right. Okay. Got him his first John Cena shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got. He's getting into it, so he's been introduced to the cool '90s heroes and villains, because Taker and Kane.
Mm-hmm.
But now we got to get him to that next step. Who is that next? Oh, well, it's John Cena.
Yeah.
You got to introduce John Cena before you introduce Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
It's a story. All right, it's a story. Cody hasn't finished his. Cena's his final chapter.
That's true.
So, and then I got my brother Dude Love shirt because his favorite wrestler's Mick Foley. And I mean,
Ooh.
Dude Love, underrated. Extremely underrated.
I want the Judgment Day shirt that has all their names on it.
Are you gonna get a piece of tape and put
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Rude ass.
So then we go and see Nia Jax. She comes out to the ring and looks like she is about to cut a promo, which I was actually kind of looking forward to because we were just talking about how she did pretty well. Was it last week?
Yeah, she's improved.
We were actually crediting her like she did well. So I wanted to hear what she had to say, but it ended up being okay because Becky interrupts her, stands in the ring, but Nia gets out and wants nothing to do with Becky. But then they exchange some words because Becky wants to fight Nia right now. We've been waiting 5 years for this to happen since she broke Becky's nose. But Nia just is like, no. She's pulling that heel card of like, no, girly, we're going to fight on my time, okay? But Becky takes it to her pretty harshly, and she says, your entire existence here is built on someone else's name. First, it was your cousin's, then it was mine. I'll go down as the greatest to ever do it, and your claim to fame will be breaking the nose of the best to ever do it. And I was like, queen
Snaps.
stuff.
Snaps.
Incredible. But Nia is not entertained whatsoever. She just does not care what Becky has to say. And so she says, you know what? Actually, we're not going to fight tonight. We're going to fight when I want to. And I want to challenge you in my hometown of San Diego, California, which happens to be where day one is going to be. So that seems fine, but then as she's starting to walk away, Becky's like, girl, and attacks her from the back. But of course, it doesn't take very long for Nia to throw a punch and land Becky on the floor. And I feel like this was actually, first of all, kudos to Nia again, because she did really well, I feel like. She's really good at being a heel, and I feel like they should have made her a heel like the whole time that she's been around. Yeah. And so I felt like she did a really good job when she first came out too, just like the way that she was like amping up the crowd because she was like soaking in the booze and like encouraging
the way she was holding the mic, like
I have a mic in front of me, you idiots. Like blowing kisses to everybody. And then I feel like this was a good build up for that match. Like it actually made me more interested in it than if you had told me like a month ago, like, hey guys, did you know that Nia Jax and Becky Lynch are gonna go and have a match on that first episode of Raw? It's gonna be like, really? But like this actually made me a little more excited about it.
I'm very excited for this match. One, because of obviously it's the 5 years in the making, but the way they've built it up, and Becky just slam dunk, alley-oop, like bang. She can't miss on the mic. And Nia's doing that mean girl type of, okay, like just eating it. Just no reaction, just soaking it all in. That's where you're going to see Nia just eviscerate and try to squash her. That makes for a fantastic back and forth match where you actually have fans invested in this rather than just being it, the two of them fighting for no reason. There's some substance here.
And it can be something that goes to the Rumble. Like they can feud. They don't have to have a singles match in the Rumble, but they can like feud in the Rumble match,
Yeah, they can.
Because this is not something I would want dragged out till Mania.
I just
no.
Actually, no.
Okay.
I'm not. No. I'm on your side. I just connected some dots here. What if you feud it all the way to Chamber? Because it could, because of the amount of group matches that we have, Rumble, Chamber. Becky wins a Chamber, takes on Rhea. If Becky wins, cool. Well, she's got her first opponent in Nia Jax for the title. And that's so it connects. So that's how you can make it work.
And that's like under the assumption that like Bayley wins the Rumble, right?
Yeah. Oh,
so
that's my pick.
EO.
Oh, that's 1,000% my pick. It's too obvious.
Yeah, I feel like that's the only thing that makes sense. So I'd be really disappointed if that's not what happened.
No one else deserves it.
I know. Well, and I feel like that is such a way to catapult her as like full blown into babyface. You know what I mean? Like that would excite so many people, and they would be so excited to see her challenge Io. You know, like go after the bullies. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so I think that's like the best decision. Like it doesn't. There's no one else that I feel like really makes much sense to win the Rumble
Mm-hmm.
right now, because I don't know that it's like it doesn't have to be someone who's debuting, because I know a lot of people are like it should be Jade, and it's like no, that's not really like setting her up for success, because if that's
No.
her debut, you don't want to then be like here you go, a WrestleMania main event, you
Yeah,
know.
that's not how you do a
um
debut. It's not how
yeah,
you do a
and then
debut.
it also shouldn't be like Liv Morgan, because people want Liv versus Rhea, and I'm like I don't want to see that right now. Because it's still very much like tall and small. Like Rhea's gonna dominate her. I want to see someone who's a little bit more equal to her at Mania, because you don't want it to be like a squash match.
I don't want to see. I'm just thinking about this logistically. I don't want to see Liv in like a title match of Mania. I want Becky versus Rhea.
Yeah,
Like
and
I
Bailey
want
versus Liv.
Liv in another match.
Yeah,
Maybe a little few. I don't know. Just another match, but
she needs to
not
be
for the
on Raw
title.
though. She needs to be on Raw. She shouldn't be on. Is she on Raw? No, I think
Yeah,
she's on SmackDown.
she's been
I
on
don't
a
know.
while. I
I
didn't
know.
even
So maybe I don't
realize
know.
that.
I know. I don't know.
Maybe tag with Tegan Knox instead of
She shouldn't.
Natalia.
She shouldn't be tagging.
Well, all right.
Anyway, I am ready to move on.
Let's talk about singles competitors since
Okay.
we're not on tags.
Gunther.
Yeah, you just take over, girl. I'll just let you kind of take the wheel here.
So we see Gunther versus The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship of the World. I would have put heavyweight. Oh no, I did say Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship of the World.
Of course you did. That's your guy.
um,
That's your
yeah,
guy.
that's my guy. So this was a match that if The Miz lost, it meant that he could no longer challenge for the IC title as long as Gunther is champion. And you knew that this match was going to be a banger. Like they had a great match the first time around, so there was no question about that. But I have to say, this match made me way too uncomfortable. And I know that part of it is just because I'm like, no, he cannot lose. He cannot lose. He
Oh,
cannot
that.
lose.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, but there were just too many moments in this that I was like really starting to question, like, are they really going to do this right now? You know, and
They were.
part of it was like I don't like how they make Gunther look like such a wuss when he is in a submission hold. I understand like that's the point, but like why is he like immediately screaming the second that Miz like grabs his leg? Like he's not even fully in the submission hold and he's already like and I'm like, okay, this is Gunther. Like he shouldn't be like, you know, you touch him and he starts like freaking out. So I kind of
I
hate that. But
I have no
uh
thoughts on that.
okay.
I'm just yeah. I mean, do you? But
Okay.
I just the brutality.
No, I
Holy
know. I know. I was gonna say that. I was like, it was a really good
Jesus!
match. It was super physical. There was a lot of near falls, and then of course
Lot of
the end.
near falls.
And we were talking about the ending. Everybody was talking about how Gunther won. Like
Um, I texted you immediately
I know, I
because
know.
I don't think I've seen a Rainmaker in WWE
Yeah. Well, and
and a pretty
that's the thing that
solid
we've
one.
I think we've talked about it before, but I'll just reiterate it again. I think that's what makes Gunther like so much cooler is that he doesn't have a go-to finisher. You know, like you don't ever really know when his match is at the end. You know, like you don't it's not like oh, he hit a rock bottom or he hit the
Yeah,
tombstone or he did so, you know, he did the GTS. It's like you really don't know how
no
he's going
idea.
to finish a match. It could be a big boot, it could be a power bomb, it could be it's something off the top rope. Like you, so
It's
I thought that was
incredible.
cool, and it got people really excited too. And you know the fact that he's a heel, and people are like, oh my god, that was such a cool finish. It's like that's pretty cool because that's not something that they tend to compliment somebody like Gunther on. You know?
No, and I like it because it adds to the dangerous factor of Gunther, the dominance of him, where he doesn't have one move that's it and it's lights out.
Yeah.
He can beat you in so many ways. That only adds to his character. Like
It
seriously,
adds to his mystique.
it does. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
incredible how you don't know what his real finishing move is. I mean, I've seen him hit like some T-bone or like inverted suplex into a power bomb. I've seen him hit another type of power bomb that looks like a pump handle. You saw the Rainmaker last night. I mean, he's
Mm-hmm.
splashed a little bit too. Like that's what that's what's lacking that you're in just in general, like wrestling in general, is that everyone has a move that they hit it, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, oh, he hits this move, but oh, if he's gonna hit that, no, you don't know. That's why Gunther's so entertaining because your
Yeah.
eyes are so glued on him that you don't know. All right, he's gonna hit this and this, so I can look away. No, your eyes are glued on him the entire time.
Well, and I think that, like you said, that should be utilized more because I think part of it goes into finishers being protected. And that's like, we can't have that so much because
Yeah.
it's like, first of all, it's just not that serious. Like it's still not like you don't need to protect your finisher because, oh, well, like it means a lot to me or whatever. It's
Only
like,
in certain instances.
yeah,
I
but
believe
I just
that.
mean like it feels like with other people, there's certain ones that it's like, okay, once they hit this, like, it's over. But I feel like that's not really fun to watch because then you already know what is going to happen. It's like I would rather not know. I'd rather, like, as much as I hate watching a match like this and feeling uncomfortable because I legitimately thought that they might have
Oh,
Gunther lose,
oh,
I
when
would
he hit
rather
the,
feel that way
yeah.
than not even have to pay attention to a match because I already know what's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, when Miz hit that first skull crushing finale, I thought it was over.
The
I
one
got so scared.
no. The one off the top rope, I was like, are you fucking
Brilliant.
kidding me? I was like,
Brilliant.
they're really going to end this match. They're going to end Gunther's title reign off of a
But
skull crushing finale from the top rope. That's how they're going to do it on a random Raw.
but did you see him roll out the ring?
I know. Oh my god, I started like laughing.
Incredible.
I was like,
Oh,
brilliant heel work. Brilliant.
it was just
Brilliant.
it was brilliant. Brilliant.
Brilliant. A plus
Oh,
aesthetics.
it
A
was
plus aesthetics.
incredible.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, I agree.
all right.
And then he is the next
He,
one about him talking to Imperium.
yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna go right into that. Gunther does not want any jolliness. Oh, jolliness.
No, he doesn't,
He wants
baby.
none of
Okay,
it.
so after he gets that incredible win over the Miz, he goes to the back, and his boys and my boys, Gio and Ludwig are clapping and like
Oh
congratulating
God.
him. But Gunther is very quick to shut them down and be like,
Yes.
there was nothing to be jolly about. You guys are not pulling your weight. I'm basically doing everything for this group. You're disappointing me. He says that he's going to take a few weeks off to recharge, and he expects that in the meantime that Vinci and Kaiser will be grinding and trying to impress him finally because he's been waiting long enough. So I'm glad that we're now seeing that being told to both of them as opposed to singling one out and being like, you're fantastic, you're great, the other guy sucks, and then we see it the other way. I'm glad it's like, nope, it's both of you, like you both suck. Like I'm glad that we're at that point because I feel like that makes things a little bit more interesting. We've seen it now for both of them individually, and now it should be like a collective effort because neither of them have stood out individually when they were being targeted by Gunther. So I feel like this is a good opportunity for them to do something with them with Gunther gone because he wasn't specific. He said a few weeks, so that could mean like he's not going to be at day one. I don't know. And if that's the case, then I want them to do something with them to like hype them up, even though they had the opportunity to do that and they didn't later in the show. So, but I'll express my opinions.
I think
No,
there's potential there for them to do something.
maybe, but I just mean the match that Kaiser had.
Oh,
So
you're mad about Kaiser doing Vinci's job. Oh, that's really tough.
no, No.
Well, Kofi Claus should have handed
Oh, it
Vinci a
said, can you
pinfall.
fix that? It says pisses of.
Kofi Claus. Oh, that's yeah. Let me do
Yeah, it
that.
says pisses of.
I don't know what
Pisses of
pissed.
my heart.
Oh,
What?
pissed.
Oh,
There we go.
thank you.
Click it.
Yeah, so then after Gunther walks away, after he scolds his boys, Kofi Claus shows up and is like, I have gifts for you. And even though he said that they were on the naughty list, he still gave them a gift. And of course, Kaiser opens it and it's just a hunk of coal, which pisses him off. And then Kofi goes out to the ring to like hand out random merchandise to the audience.
Shirts.
And Imperium come out and beat his butt in the middle of the ring, which then prompts Jey Uso to come out for the save, which I'm like, what is going on here? But
I loved it.
So then we see Jey Uso versus Ludwig Kaiser, which I have a banner about, I think. And
you do.
Yeah. So I was excited about this because of who Jey Uso is. Like, he's considered one of the top guys on Raw now. So for Kaiser to have a match with him, I'm like, okay, like, I'm down for this. My problem is, of course, is that it was a pointless match. There was nothing to be gained from this match. And so I don't agree with Jey Uso having to win. Like, I feel like we could have seen him be beaten by, an interference or something. Like, Gio could have tried to help Kaiser win so that at least it was like, it's a win. And because, like, a win helps Kaiser, a win doesn't help Jay. So it's like, to me, I feel like it feels like to me we're getting to that point of Imperium just being that tag team that is just like thrown into random matches to lose. Like, that feels like what their place is right now, and I don't understand it.
I think that's coming to an end. I agree with everything you're saying that there's no reason Kaiser should have lost there.
Yeah.
I mean, you just had that segment with them. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
it's to bury home the point that they need to fix things. I could see that. But also, I mean, to me that felt like a very face crowd. Like they want to see Jey Uso win and do the up and down with Santa Kofi.
I mean,
and it's gimmicky, I know, and we're thinking we're big brain people, Sarah.
mm-hmm.
So we understand that you don't need to bury them right after that. You can just jump right to chapter 1. You know what I mean? You don't need an epilogue or prelogue, tomato, same thing.
And that's what it just like is frustrating because, like, being in a match with a guy of that caliber, it's just like with LA Knight when we were talking about LA Knight and the opportunities he's had with having a match with Roman and tag teaming with Cena and then tagging with Randy, but then maybe he'll have a match with Randy. Like, that's huge for him and like gives him so many credibility points to anybody who might still be doubting him. And I know that Imperium aren't on the same level as LA Knight on Raw, but like having him lose to somebody at the caliber of Jey Uso is not benefiting anybody. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. It was an opportunity that they could have just had Vinci interfere and they get a win, and then it was like, okay, cool. Like, they were just scolded by Daddy in the back, and then they immediately go out there and utilize it and are like, okay, we want to show him right away that we're taking him seriously. And instead they have them, there's like, we need to make sure that the kids go home happy. Like,
I couldn't listen. Champ agrees. I'm with you.
I'm glad.
Like, because I don't care. We're too intelligent of wrestling fans at this point, you and I, and just the peeps in general, that we don't need to be hammered home that they need to impress Gunther. No, we saw that. All right. We want to move on. The heels are rising, as we see in the next banner, that they are rising hard because boy, actually, do we have a comment? Oh, okay, it's relevant and newsworthy. I heard a rumor that Xavier Woods was pulled off Raw, so that's why Jey Uso helped Kofi because Xavier Woods was not there. I did hear
Yeah,
this too.
I heard that he's injured. Yeah. And I mean, I get it. Like, it was an easy way to get Jay on the show, because I
Yeah.
guess if it weren't for that, then he didn't appear like he was going to be on the show until the dark match. But
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing, is like, you could have thrown someone else in that position. I mean, look at, they had the freaking Creeds help Cody Rhodes. Like, it doesn't have to make sense. This is just like, it's not even about helping Kofi. It was more so like, let's go help Santa. You know what I mean? So like, you could have sent anybody out there. You chose to send out a guy that, like, you're acting as if he's untouchable at this point. So like,
Yeah.
it was kind of silly.
Could you imagine? Like, Jey Uso would go save Santa.
Yeah.
All right. Like, and the way he ran down, I need to make the way he ran down. That what's up?
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's low key, not even low key anymore. It's high key. Becoming my favorite Raw wrestler, hands down. I think it's Jey Uso.
Alrighty.
I think that proclamation. All right, moving on to, oh man, this was dark. We took a dark turn with this. Do you have the poem up?
I only have one line.
Okay, it's the line I know you're thinking of, but
Okay.
I'm gonna try to find, because he was very descriptive.
Yeah.
And we just need, for anyone who it's a,
okay.
You get the peeps going.
The Shinsuke Nakamura Cody Rhodes feud was continuing, and we got to listen to a beautiful Christmas story called The American Nightmare Before Christmas, which was recited by Nakamura in a very festive environment. I seriously, I feel like there's not many more moments this year that have been more iconic than this. Like, whoever came up with this was brilliant. Okay, so he sits down to tell us the story, and it was rhyming, and it was kind of trying to go off of like real Christmas stories. And the main line that people were running away with was you you bastard, you cancer, you prancer, you nitwit, your vomit, you're stupid, your father was inbred. Oh, poor Dusty, man.
Yo, that was the coldest bar of 2023. I gasped when I saw, I inaudibly gasped. I was like, oh, like,
I know.
that was evil. It was evil, like, type shit.
It is, and it's like when, before we went live, we were talking about, like, this was perfection. Like, this is exactly what we've been saying that we want from the heels in WWE. We want them to go below the belt and be nasty and evil and mean and, like, over the top, because there really aren't any people on the roster that are like that right now. And I mean, still, basically, when Nakamura comes out, people are still singing his song. And it's like, I get it, it's a catchy theme, but like, if he's really supposed to be hated, you shouldn't be wanting to sing his song. You should be booing him the second you hear it, you know? So
exactly.
I would like to think that maybe this is going to help kind of change people's opinions maybe a little bit, because holy cow, whoever, like I said, whoever wrote this, whoever came up with this, like, kudos to you, man, because this was brilliant. It was so good.
Yeah, all right. This, I'm gonna read it for the peeps.
Oh, you found
here.
it? Okay.
I found it. Okay. 'Twas the week before Christmas, and out from my mouth came a warning to Cody that Shinsuke would pounce. While your daughter is nestled, all snug in her bed, and visions of championships dance through her head. Shinsuke is plotting to live out your story, to ruin your plans and extinguish your glory. The nightmare is over. The nightmare is through. The mist burns its eyes, for the nightmare is you. You bastard, you cancer, you prancer, you nitwit, your vomit, you're stupid. Your father was inbred. My goal is to see that you're living in fright. Merry Christmas to you. I will be your last fright. That's fucking terrifying. That is so unbelievable. Like,
and it's like,
wow.
He hit so many like easy targets to be hated, you know, like He brought up his family, like his daughter. He
Oh
said some
my
horrible things about his
God.
dad. He went after him and like
Horrible.
trying to be champion and like, trying to live out his dream. Like he hit everything to piss off
Everything.
Cody. So it was so good. This is what I wanted, especially in this storyline. I was like, this has the potential to be so good and such a good storyline for both of them. Because when we saw that it was going to be Cody versus Shinsuke, I was like, oh my God, this is so good. Like, this is so good for both of them. And it was a good filler feud for
Oh, it's
Cody
great.
until the Rumble or whatever happens there. I'm like, I want this to be like legendary. And it's getting to that point. I just hope that we can continue to go down this path so that like we can have more moments like this because like this was so good. Just
Oh
so
my
good.
God. It was like Swerve Strickland standing over the Adam Page's baby's crib and this promo story, whatever, are the two most evil things I've seen in wrestling this year. From a pure psychological standpoint.
Yeah.
That is
And
great heel work,
and
ladies and
that's a
gentlemen.
big thing that's been missing too. Like on top of heels being like just dirt bags, it's been not a lot of psychologically deep heel work. It's been
Exactly. Yeah.
mostly like surface level, like, oh, you beat my ass backstage. Like, okay. Like, like that's not
Yeah.
that deep. So
People forget that is what makes a good heel at heart. Is
Randy
someone
Orton,
who's
bald Randy Orton.
I mean,
Hello.
Undertaker in the 90s, Ministry of Darkness was pretty evil. I mean, it just doesn't have to be.
Even though people don't like it, DDP's story with
Oh,
Undertaker and Sara
that
was
was evil.
insane.
Great heel.
Yeah,
Great
yeah.
heel work.
I know people
Wrong
hate that
guy.
era, but like,
Wrong
I mean,
guy.
that was psychological.
Thing is, I think it would have been better if it was a different guy. DDP is
Like not.
DDP.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think they were just trying to get him, like, make him a heel, and
Oh yeah,
Undertaker was the guy at the time. So
exactly. All right.
did we have another one for Cody, or because I was saying that Cody blindsided him? Or did I just forget that?
You did not have that in the banner.
Okay, so I want to talk about that quickly too. So
Yes.
while Nakamura is still reading the story, Cody blindsides him and attacks him because he figures out where he is in the back. They bring it out to the arena where they continue to brawl, and Cody sets him up for the crossroads on top of the announcer's desk. And then all the fake security indie wrestlers come out to break it up, which I thought was really interesting because that seems to indicate that Adam Pearce was like trying to make sure he couldn't get to Nakamura, because like we haven't seen that. Like the security is not just running out of nowhere and just being like, no, Cody, don't. But I was like, it worked, obviously. So yeah, I think I wish that their match hadn't happened yet. That was something that I was kind of disappointed about, because I feel like this adds to that anticipation so much more, because they could fight at day one, and day one is going to feel like a pay-per-view. I mean, we already saw there's like 3 title matches announced already, and I feel like if they had held off their match, it could have happened there. And then obviously you assume that it's going to play into the Royal Rumble in some capacity, because I'm assuming Golf will be in the Royal Rumble. Cody is. I'm assuming Nakamura will be as well. And so I feel like that will be cool, but if they had just waited to have them like actually fight.
If it was a clean finish,
True.
I would agree.
Yeah.
But because he used the mist and then it goes into, the next week with that story.
Yeah.
Referencing the mist once again, and then even going a step further in family talk, that caused Cody to snap. That's what Nakamura wants as the heel, for Cody to snap. Because Cody didn't snap. Cody didn't snap before their match. Well, he was pissed, and they may have like fought, whatever. If I can't remember, but he didn't snap.
Like, well, and we've talked about how we wanted to have that from him. Yes. We kind of wanted to have him to have like a psychological break. Like, we don't, because I mean, obviously on screen, we wanted him to have a psychological break.
Yeah,
because
the kayfabe is real in the artist streams. Okay.
Because it would be interesting to see that element in his story as he's trying to finish the story, you know, instead of everything always being like a physical speed bump, like, oh no, this guy just beat me again, oh, he beat me up and broke my arm again, you know, like that kind of stuff. It's like it works, but they've overdone that, I feel like, with Cody. And so I'm glad that we're getting to that psychological part where it does just invest like his mentality and his feelings and like his livelihood, you know, it's like his reputation, it's like everything is involved in this. And I feel like that is an element that we were missing from everything that Cody is trying to overcome to get to the title, you know.
I agree.
Cool.
Um, yeah, we're not mentioning Triple H's most evil time in wrestling. If you see the comments, Sarah, I can't put that on
Oh,
the screen. We will get shadowed.
uh oh, yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter because we're talking about the new tag team champions. Sarah, I got a name. All
Uh-huh.
right, we've been calling
Yeah.
them the after party. Can't do that. That's their finishing move, which is electric, by the way. Just like their name, they're going to be referred to now as the Electric Carnival.
See, I still like the after party, but
You can't.
it's
Can't
fine.
name finisher after.
We don't have to agree.
That's
It's
fine.
but
This is why it makes you and I great. You have
yeah.
your opinion. I got mine. All right. I'll make lemonade out of my lemon over here. Okay. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay.
So we see Chelsea Green and Piper Niven take on Katana Chance and Kaden Carter for the tag team titles. And before we even dive into that match, what happened with Samantha's introduction of Chelsea Green?
Yeah.
I'm
Whoa.
blaming the fact that she just introduced her normally for why they lost.
Yeah. I that was weird. That felt like
I
a glitch
know.
in the Matrix.
I know. I'm like wondering why, because like someone said it to Chelsea on Twitter after the show, and she was saying she was going to speak to like Adam Pierce about it or something like that. But I'm like, I'm genuinely curious. Like, was it just like a flub by Samantha, or like what? Why?
Do you
Why?
think that they're trying to get her into more like backstage segments, like just segments in general, not kind of give her more of a personality, not just the ring announcer. Because if you go on Twitter or anywhere in wrestling, Twitter or social media, you see all the stands, including myself, of Samantha Irvin and how just unbelievably talented she is as a
Yeah.
human.
Yeah.
So maybe they're going to play into that. She's very comfortable in front of a camera, in front of a live audience, obviously. So maybe that is like a little nugget, or maybe it was a screw up. I don't know, but I'm hoping it's
I
the first one.
I don't know. I feel like because I just can kind of consider her like the new Lillian Garcia, and Lillian didn't do that. Lillian was like she was a ring announcer, like that was her thing, and I liked that that was her thing because I feel like sometimes there's just too many people that are in the backstage, or like people just get thrown back there and then you don't really see them that much. So I kind of hope that it was just a mess up and that it wasn't something else, or it wasn't like they told her she couldn't announce Chelsea like that anymore. You know what I mean? Because that would suck.
Oh, yeah, I don't think they told that. I hope not, at least. But do you don't remember Lillian Garcia's famous feud with the Fink?
No.
Oh, that's just classic Attitude Era. That is just
Well,
your
that
classic.
yeah, that sounds ridiculous.
Oh, it was. It
Um,
absolutely was.
so this was a good match. It was a good opportunity for Kaden and Katana. Um, they of course become the new women's tag team champions, and I'm not actually super thrilled about it. Nothing against them. I just think that they didn't. I feel like Piper and Chelsea didn't really have an opportunity to have like real feuds as champions, and similarly to the Creed brothers, I just feel like Katana and Kaden haven't really been on Raw enough or been featured enough on TV or really at all to then just be given the tag team titles already. But I mean, I'm happy that at least they're like prioritizing, you know, the women's tag division. They're still doing stuff and like advertising like a number one contenders match and whatever. But like yeah, I feel like that was my immediate takeaway. It's like cool, but like,
Do you? My thought with this is that Chelsea's going to be a single star, and they're pushing her back to being a single star. Easy first few would be with Piper Niven. I mean, not only just because tag team, but let's dive into that tag team. Chelsea was always trying to tell her what to do, but no one ain't telling Piper Niven what to do. So you have that headbutting a little bit, makes for a genuine like couple weeks feud, whatever. And like Chelsea should be a single star.
Well, and remember Piper accidentally hit Chelsea in the match.
Exactly.
Which resulted in her losing. So
exactly.
Chelsea could
you
take
cost
it out
me
and be
the
mad.
title.
Yeah.
You cost me the title.
See, I guess we'll see. And now
I loved you, P.
I just want to see more of Chelsea because she's so funny and her gear is fire. So
she's incredible. Did you see? Yeah. Did you see her hit a Rough Rider last night?
Yes, I know. I know people are like, was that paying homage to Zack Ryder? I'm like, are you guys dumb? Like, yeah, that's her husband. Hello. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I want to see Matt Cardona in the Royal Rumble.
We might get it.
I would
love. This is something, okay? And I think we said it. Maybe I said it. I don't know. I am so here for him returning to WWE as Matt Cardona, and WWE like kind of acknowledging the fact that he was Zack Ryder, but like not making a big deal about the fact that he's back with his real name. You know what I mean? Like, I would love for that because I feel like that would be such a move in the right direction for WWE.
Oh yeah.
Because he's been gone from WWE for a few years now, and more people know him as like Matt Cardona now, at least if you pay attention to like indie wrestling and stuff. And I don't blame him. It's like for wanting Zack Ryder to be dead, basically. It's similar to like Cody Rhodes like not really wanting to talk about Stardust. And it feels like it's not viewed the same, obviously, because Zack Ryder was his character for like 10 plus years, and he's thankful for it, clearly, because it got him to where he is now. But he's such a big part of the indie scene, and he feels like, okay, well, at this age, like, I want to be taken seriously and I want to be myself. So I feel like that would be pretty cool to see him come back in that way, you know?
I think it's necessary. You can't have him come back as Zack Ryder, because if he does, you need to at least have a joke with it, like they tried it, and then the entrance, whatever. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to see. I didn't get to see Chelsea Green and Matt Cardona on the Indies. I wasn't into the Indies as much as I am at that point, so I didn't get to see that. At least give me a taste of it in WWE. You know, from a cinematic level, at least.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really interesting because then it gives you a reason to go back. You know, obviously.
By the way, my AirPods are dying. So
all right.
So if that happens, I'll just mute myself like every time you're talking, so that like we don't hear the echo. You know.
Okay, I didn't hear the echo the first time.
Oh, okay. So we'll see. It just told me I only have 10% left. So
thank you, Mr. Anderson.
Is it a super chat?
It is. Oh, you can't see it.
I can't see it.
Oh my god, it's a super chat from Mr. Anderson.
Thank
Dos
you.
Dolores. He's saying he's saying that Bo Dallas will return in the Rumble before Ryder does. I don't hate that prediction.
I don't think it's happening though. I don't think Bo Dallas will come back. I feel like if he does, it's not going to be for a while. I feel like it would be too hard for him to do that. I think.
Okay. Different
I don't
conversation.
think Ryder will return. I think Mark Cardona will.
Yeah, return. No. So yeah, but no. That is interesting little thought you had there. I don't think that Bo Dallas comes back like right away. Like it may be a couple years.
Yeah, if at all. Like I feel like he was involved in the Uncle Howdy stuff and whatever, and now like wrestling was always something that they did, and it was like something that they did together. So I would not be surprised if it's something that like he can't do. I mean, at least for a while, if ever again. And I can't
Yeah.
blame him because I can't imagine, like,
Oh,
how
I can't.
difficult it was, because it wasn't something where at the time of Bray's passing that he had been sick. He was actually on the mend and like coming back. So it's not even like they didn't have any time to really like kind of prepare themselves
Yeah,
for that. And so I can't imagine like going back to WWE right now. Like,
I can't either. Oh, be too difficult. Way too difficult. But thank you, Mr.
um,
Anderson.
can we skip over Ivar and stuff?
Yeah, Tozawa and Ivar had a match. I love Tozawa. I think what they're doing with the Alpha Academy is great. And Ivar's a big, meaty dude who just need wins.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah, agree?
Yep.
There we go. Because I want to talk about this.
Yes, I do too, especially because my AirPods are dying.
Yeah.
Um, So we see Seth Rollins in a very sparkly green jacket. He comes out, does his thing, to hype himself up. And then he started to talk about his upcoming title defense against Drew McIntyre at day one. And since he heard his name, Drew made sure to come out. He waited until he heard his name to come out.
Such a
And
gentleman.
okay, this was a really good segment for
Really
both. But like, holy moly, Drew McIntyre. Can you give this guy a mic more often, please? Like,
good.
um, it's funny again because this is just like doubling down on the common sense aspect of him being a heel. Like, I'm still sitting there and I'm like, people really listen to this and they're still mad and they still hate him. Like, really. Um,
Yeah.
so McIntyre just basically shares his struggles in recent years because obviously he's had to live in America and be away from his family in Scotland. And he's missed birthdays and weddings, and when a relative, maybe they get sick or they pass away. He's mentioned, I think, his nephews and missing them growing up. And he mentioned his mom specifically, which was like, oh my gosh, that made me sad. Um, and he was saying how he wasn't able to be there for her, and we know that she passed away. I'm pretty sure that's
I
why
think
he named the sword after her, which I'm pretty sure is because she
okay.
passed. um
Someone should fact check that before we spread
yeah,
something.
yeah, I'm
I'll
pretty
let.
sure. I'm almost positive, but
I mean
anyway.
you too. But you moving on.
So he said that he has been recently questioning if it's all worth it because of this. Like, he was able to see his family and talk to them recently, and he's just like, is this worth it? Like, why am I doing this? Because I'm missing out so much. And he said at first he was going to say to Seth, well, he obviously can't relate to this, but he said actually he can, because he is married to Becky Lynch, who is from Ireland, so she goes through the same problems as he does. And so obviously they've had conversations about Becky missing home and her family and her friends in Ireland. And so he says, I don't just want to beat you, I need to beat you. I need that title. He says, because I need it for like affirmation. I need to know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, that everything that I've been doing is worth it and not just a waste of my time. And you could tell Seth was like actually looking sympathetic. Like, it almost
Oh
was
yeah.
like
Oh, he was.
he would want to hug him or something,
Yeah.
which I thought that was a cool part, because he didn't have to, but it felt genuine to me.
It felt. It was the most genuine promo, whatever you want to call it, that I've seen in a very long time. The things that Drew was saying not
Mm-hmm.
only resonated with Drew McIntyre fans, but you resonated with it as a human. How many
Mm-hmm.
sacrifices do we make, or does anyone make in a day to do what they ultimately dream of doing, or
Or just to
even,
get paid.
or just to get paid, help their family, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the way he conveyed that, like, oh man, I was just sitting there. I had some tears cover my eyes
Yeah.
because, like, anything to live out your dream, you make sacrifices, and especially if family who want to see you live out that dream, you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
miss some things. You're gonna miss some things, and they get it, but you don't think they get it, and you feel bad that you think they don't get it, but they do because they love you. And for him to get that through in a promo for their title match, I mean, goddamn, I don't care if you're a heel, face, whatever. Like, I can't boo you. I
I
can't
know.
boo you after that. I'm the
And
dick if I boo you.
the thing is like it came off genuine because it is,
Yeah.
like these are actual concerns and things that he has been struggling with. So it's like that's what is cool about that aspect of this feud, I think, because it is nice when they're able to add like a realistic element into a feud, and that it's not just like, oh yeah, we just want these two guys that are at the top of the company go against each other, and there's not really anything that interesting, below a surface level
Mm-hmm.
in it. And that's why sometimes it isn't good. Like their match might be great, but like the feud isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like adding that part for Drew in this situation just makes it even more confusing to me that
Yeah.
people are supposed to hate him. Like, how can you hate this guy? Like, but Seth, like I said, was looking sympathetic. But he did say that he admires Drew for all that he does, but he doesn't really know how to feel about him because he wants to take what he's saying to heart, but his actions don't line up with everything that he's been saying. Says that he needs to take responsibility for his actions. And he'll never be champion until he is able to like look in the mirror and right his wrongs and recognize that his actions are what is holding him back. That it's literally Drew McIntyre that is stopping Drew McIntyre from becoming champion. He says that last week he told Punk straight up, I hate you. And he said, you know what, Drew? I don't hate you. I pity you. And I was like, that's almost worse.
That's so
That
much
is
worse.
worse.
That's so much worse.
And I was like, that feels more like you're the dick in this
You're the
situation.
heel. You're the
Yeah,
asshole.
you're the bad guy here. Like, and I love Seth, but I was like, Drew is just like pouring his heart out to you, and you're like, oh really? Well, you suck, dude. And it's like, okay.
It's
So Seth starts to walk away, but Drew was like, not so fast. And they get hit out of the ring, and then Drew hits him with an Alabama slam, dude, on the steel steps. And I was like, you know what?
that was
That was
smart.
a great way to end this segment. That was fantastic. I
I
loved it.
agree. I agree. A little
This match is gonna
detail
be a
there.
banger. It's gonna be a banger, dude.
It's gonna be an absolute banger. I mean, it's just one giant game of who's the asshole.
I
That's really
know.
what this is.
And it's funny because I feel like Seth could very easily be hated because people are so obsessed with CM Punk right now, and he keeps taking
Oh
jabs at
God.
Punk. So
Oh,
I'm like,
I'm not on the Seth train right now.
no,
I'm hopping off.
oh, I know.
I
Um, so obviously we know that they have a match at day one. I really want to believe that Drew actually has a chance to win the title.
I think Drew wins.
I
I
I
think
love
Drew
Seth.
wins.
Seth is gonna go down as one of my favorites of all time. But man, I need him to lose because it just sets up everything else that would be so much more interesting. Like I'm like I need Seth to lose, then he can focus on Punk, and then I'm like fine, because it doesn't involve the title. We finally get a Drew WrestleMania run as champion in front of people, and we still can see Rollins and Punk main event, and it's not an issue. Like I feel like there's too many other things that work out more beautifully if McIntyre wins.
Yeah, you don't. I think this is the Mania. You make Drew McIntyre win at Mania and have the title, whether he retains it, whatever.
Well, because Seth's already had that moment. He has
He's had
the
it.
best. He's had the best cash in ever.
Oh, the
Like
best. Do you
well,
think?
besides Dolph Ziggler, I would say.
I still put Rollins one.
I
If there's
can't
a one A
tell,
one
but
B, you gotta put Dolph B. But like
yeah, yes, agreed.
WrestleMania against Brock and Roman, it's the
Yeah,
heist of the
I know,
century.
I know. And then when he did the twisting of the title, iconic. You know, NXT
Just
Seth Rollins.
yeah, just there's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
All right. What's the next one? Oh, all right. Wrapping up here.
Okay.
JD McDonough. Well, we got two more, but like we're getting to the main event of the show.
Yes.
And you
Yes.
have Mr. JD McDonough. He doesn't want to get kicked out, Sarah. He
No,
doesn't
he
want to.
doesn't.
He wants to stay.
So we
Trish
see
not even
them.
in it.
I know. So they're talking backstage in the Judgment Day clubhouse, as they do. And JD is feeling really down about losing to R-Truth. The rest of them are all laughing, including Finn, which I was like, Finn, you're supposed to be like the guy supporting JD. And now you're like hanging your dude out to dry. And I don't appreciate that. Irish men are supposed to stick together, baby. What are you doing?
Nah, his boy got you guys sit through that roast. You gotta breathe the flames, man.
But Rhea ends it and it's just like, all right, like she's just like, settle down, stop it, cut it out. And Damian was like, well, you know, he did lose, so he should be out of the Judgment Day. And Rhea's like, you need to back off, guys, whatever. So Damian's like, oh well, just kidding, you're still in the group for now. And you know, I mean, I feel like this is gonna eventually be something that is revisited. But I'm like, can we stop doing this? Like JD in, JD not in, JD out, JD in. Like, come on now. You guys gave him the
He's
best.
The new guy. He's the new guy. You gotta res the new guy. To have his
back. Finn, what are you doing, dog? Like, what are you doing?
The dude did just get put through a table by R-Truth. That's what's up. That's what's up.
So I don't know if I have a banner for this, but Rhea does confirm
she didn't. You don't. Well, say
okay, that she will have a match with Ivy Nile for the championship at day 1. So we will be seeing a women's world championship match on that card, and I think that's going to be a good match. I find it interesting that Ivy Nile hasn't even really wrestled on an episode of Raw yet, and she's already getting a title shot. But I mean, I think people want to see it, even if it is another tall, small situation. We saw the chick have Rhea on her shoulders. So
Ivy Nile could squat 3 of me. Okay.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Chick's jacked.
Yeah. So I think that's what makes the matchup more interesting. You know, it's not like a typical like Rhea versus Zelina, and it's like, oh, well, Zelina's so tiny. You know, it's like, yeah, Ivy's tiny, but she's jacked. So it's like, okay, so she can hang against another jacked queen like Rhea. So I'm excited about that.
I'm just excited for it because Ivy Nile's getting on television to wrestle. I like how we're having, you know, Maxine, Ivy, these managers that are leaning in that lane of valet. They're actually getting in the ring and, you know, wrestling, and they're actually not trying to be like, oh, we're wrestling. It's like, no, I'm gonna kick your ass type of shit. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
And the only one that I'm waiting for, different show, but just to add her on, like Scarlett. Like once you get Scarlett there, now I know we're all in, you know. And Ivy Nile is just another element to that. And for her to face Rhea, I don't care if she loses. No. I just want to see how she does against Rhea. How pretty much put Rhea as a baseline. It sounds insane to have your top person as a baseline, but with the current state of the Raw women's division, you need to have them face Rhea to set a baseline of where they're gonna go. You know, are you gonna go to the lower mid card? Are you gonna go to the upper mid card of the women's division? You know, just have her be the baseline because let's face it, she runs Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Mommy.
And it obviously proves that they think highly of her because they're giving her first singles match.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's a championship match on Raw. So like that's crazy.
How many opportunities for that?
Yeah.
All right, and moving on to the main event.
Okay, AirPods are at 5%, so let's cross our fingers.
Cross our fingers, peeps. All right.
So we get to the main event, which was the Creed brothers versus the Judgment Day for the Unified Tag Team Championships. And like, I would love to give you guys like a breakdown and analysis of this match, but I don't really have a whole lot to say other than this was an incredible match. And I don't want people
we're getting pointy. We get.
I totally understand why the Creeds are getting so much love because they are insane. They're so athletic. They're doing things that we've never seen before. But you have to remember that when they're in a match like this, they're against people who are also performing just as incredibly. So do not forget that this match was great, but it was also because of the Judgment Day. because people are just like, oh my god, the Creeds are so great, and I'm like, but what were they doing? Who were they doing it with? Because Judgment Day was in this match too, and they're killing it. Like, I'm glad that Finn is getting an opportunity to do more stuff, and Damian is just like, I'm sorry, how many? This dude has to have had the most main events this year, like on Raw. So
That's a good. That would be a good question to
I think it's
answer.
Judgment Day. I think if we're gonna talk about
Oh, it's that.
collective, it's Judgment Day.
It's
A
Judgment
member
Day.
of Judgment Day. They've had the most main events this year. I would argue that it was probably Damian, actually, too, specifically.
You gonna be
I don't know.
crazy? I think Dom might be up there too.
Oh, he's had the most matches this
Okay,
year,
yeah.
but I think as far as Raw main events, it's Damian. But yeah, this match made me very uncomfortable because there were a lot of near falls, and it looked like for I don't know, at least 3 times, like the Creeds were going to walk away with the titles. And I felt like that was a possibility because we saw the change up of the women's tag titles earlier in the night. So I was like, they're going to do it again, aren't they? It's going to be double duty tonight. They want to go into the new year like brand spanking new. And I was like, please don't do this. So I was very glad that the Judgment Day came out on top because similar to why I felt like Katana and Kaden shouldn't have won. It's how I feel about the Creeds. Like they haven't been on the main roster long enough to really like solidify their role on the show or in the roster. Like yeah, they put on incredible matches every single time that they've had a match on Raw, but like they're not a solid fixture on the show yet for them to then be handed, 4 championships in their 3rd match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
They don't
I
need
think
it.
this was the right decision for both the Creeds and Judgment Day.
Yeah, Creeds didn't need a win. They just need to
No.
show that they can hang. And they did more than that.
Yeah.
The tag division is in very good hands after that match. And Judgment Day leading it has nothing to do with them being the best tag team. The most dominant faction. They need the gold. The gold symbolizes their, top dog, whatever of the show. So because of that, the Creeds don't need a win. They just need to know you can hang. You got some rub by Cody Rhodes. All right, you're going to be a mainstay in the tag division. Maybe you even be the ones to take the titles off of Judgment Day.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling they're going to separate the titles before they do that, before the Creeds get them. And the Judgment Day having both is just the last run of both. That's just my thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that plays into it well into their story anyway, because it's like, oh, they have all the gold, and so it's like obnoxious because they have so much of it.
Yo, I just thought of a unreal theory.
What?
Okay. Before your AirPods die, I'm gonna try to get this out because this is incredible. Okay, so you have the Authority, Adam Pearce, Aldis, whoever, say that the tag team titles need to be split. They need to start working both shows or whatever. They need to split them. So you have Damian and Finn be one set of tag team champions, and Dom and JD other set, and then you have one of them lose. That's how you easily split them. But then to start it, this is a nonsense thought, but I mean, how funny would it be to like, all right, to split them, like you have to face these guys or whatever, and to split them, they face Dom and JD. Ultimate heel move.
Yeah.
Judgment Day still runs the show. And then you have that, and that's how you split it by then, because if you have Damian and Finn lose, they should lose first, honestly, because Damian has the Money in the Bank. Okay, he needs to get the tag title off of him to get to that next stage. All right, I have this briefcase. Let me go find a way to cash it in. Finn can just be Finn in Judgment Day. He's Finn Balor. Like, have him face the champion, put him in a main event picture. Like, that's where he belongs. But Damian's got to get there too, and he has the briefcase. So, like, that's just a brain blast that I had talking about the Creeds and whatnot because they should be, but you need to have them be the single, not undisputed. That's way too much.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that the tag division on both shows is like so hot right now that it's limiting them too much to have them be unified. I think that they should still have two tag titles. Like I think they should have one for Raw and one for SmackDown.
Me too.
Because because a lot of people want them unified and then that's it. Like and so there's only one set, and I'm like, you can't do that though. There's way too many tag teams right now and too many good tag teams to be limited by only having one set of tag titles. Like
the one
the
set of
roster,
tag champs should be bouncing from NXT to the main roster, not
but even
show to
asking them
show.
to do that is like a lot. You
It
know what
is.
I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like if they had titles on Raw and then titles on SmackDown, at least then you know that all of the tag teams are getting utilized in some way and have something to fight for on their respective shows.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, well that's
And
Raw.
that was Raw. And I love answering King Maria's questions sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes they get a little wacky, but they're great. I love answering these types of questions because when I used to watch, these videos, I always like that. So where is it, dude? Oh, all right. There it is. All right. So, question for both of us. If we play for the Celtics, what position will we be? Point guard. Easy. Not even close.
Bench warmer.
Oh, you got to get in the game, Sarah. Got to get your head in the
Um,
game.
but I mean, I would have to. I mean, if I was a man, like I don't know how tall I would be and stuff as a man.
It's your own imagination.
Um, what is Al Horford play center?
Power forward.
Power forward. Me. I want to be Al Horford because that's
You want to, yeah, you want to dominate that paint. Yeah, you dominate that paint.
Because he's daddy, so I want to be like him.
What clothing or shoe brand do you wish 100% free deal with? You have a genie. Okay, easy. Oh. No, not easy. There's so many good ones.
I'm not a specific brand person, honestly. So I feel like I would just want clothes for free. Like if I had to choose between clothes, shoes, accessories, whatever, like if to have something for free, it would be clothes. But I'm not like a brand person, So
Sarah, if I told you that I had multiple items from Lululemon, would you be surprised?
No.
Yeah, I have two pairs of pants, 3 shirts from Lululemon. They're incredible. I'm really into this Travis Matthew brand. It's a golf brand, but like they have nice clothes. And we're trying to get into that stage of our lives where it's not like, oh, Nike, easy. It's like, nah, like why don't we dress up a little bit? And I like they're so comfy. Their shorts feel like gym shorts. It's incredible. I think I'm gonna go him. Either that or honestly Vineyard Vines. I love Vineyard Vines. Nike, yeah, we got Mr. Anderson would want Nike. Because Kobe's. The King Razor wants Adidas. Adidas. When we were sponsored at Quinnipiac, when I worked for the athletic department, we had to we had to wear all Adidas stuff when we worked the games on game day. And I got a free pair of Adidas Ultra Boosts.
Sweet.
The comfiest shoes I've ever worn in my entire life. Especially when you're running around either a hot turf or a basketball court. Actually, no, I only really wore them on the turf in the baseball field. Then you had to wear dress shoes up at the court. But all right, well, that was a little nice insight. I just love those. Any question like that, just get to know a little personalized action here. All right, and thank you all for tuning into this edition of the Raw Rewind. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification to know when we go live and when we post as well, because we have clips coming up from all the shows. Get those shorts, get those views up, the subscriber number up. Sarah, what are we at right now?
Well, I can't look, but
you can't.
It was 1354 last I looked.
Ooh, 1354. Okay, what did I have a goal at? Did I have 1600?
You had 1375.
I think we could do it.
Maybe.
I think we can do it. So let's do it. Christmas is a week away. More than enough time to get those subscribers up. That'd be fantastic. So help us reach that goal. And then follow us on all social media platforms. We tweet, we Insta, we do it all. So go and TikTok. I'm trying to get on TikTok. New Year's resolution
I've been
2024 is getting on TikTok.
I've been slacking, but I told you about stacking the videos. I still need you to tell me how to do that.
Oh yeah, Kyle does it for in the
I know. I
underground.
need to know how he does it.
All right, we'll work on that because 2024 is a massive year, and I cannot wait for you guys to be on the ride with us. So until then, we'll see you on Thursday this week for the regular show. Until then, God bless. Remember that you can do it. All you can do is try. We will see you Thursday. Yeah.